Thank you so much. I have a very quick question. If between people attacking people make another person suffer, at this situation, what's your advice? Thank you.
For example, one person may harm another person, and such situations are common between individuals. There are also similar cases between nations due to conflicts of economic and political interests. Many instances of mutual harm arise from this, but for us as practitioners, the core of Buddhism is not to harm anyone. The main approach is to prevent harm to others through education. This is important. If others harm us, do not engage in direct conflict. We should try to resolve the situation peacefully. This is the best way to resolve such issues.
And I have a question about the suffering. Like you said, the suffering is a part of us and the suffering is a part of nature. But once if we accept the suffering, is there any possible that the suffering will become a part of us, give us happiness, or the suffering will become our internal happiness?
When we are experiencing suffering, if we want to transform it into happiness, we must understand that suffering has no inherent nature. For example, when we encounter great suffering in daily life, this feeling is neither outside nor inside. It is not in the past, nor is it in the future. What we call the present is just a fleeting instant. If we recognize its true nature, then when experiencing suffering, we observe its essence, and suffering can be transformed into wisdom. There will be no more suffering, and one can attain supreme happiness. Those who practice well are able to achieve this.
Thank you, Master. Whether it's philosophers, as you know, or those in the field of religion, they are all trying to solve three fundamental questions. Where do people come from? Where are they going? And who am I? As for the important question of where we are going, basically. Based on my current understanding of Buddhism, I more or less know that different levels depend on what you do yourself. But regarding the question of where we come from, Buddhism talks about reincarnation. Since reincarnation is a cycle, there must be something most original at the very beginning. Something I can't really explain clearly, whether it's the soul or something else. Should it be something that attaches itself, or how exactly does it work? What exactly is this original thing? Thank you.
From the perspective of Buddhism, where do people ultimately go after death? Doing good deeds ultimately leads to liberation, while doing evil leads to falling into bad realms. So where do people come from? From the standpoint of modern science, humans have existed for about 2 to 5 million years. But according to Buddhism, as you may know, human beings have existed throughout history since the very beginning of time. As far as we know, there is no clear or definitive statement about exactly when it all started.
Thank you very much. I'm very impressed and enlightened by your speech, but I still got two small questions. The first one is, I heard you mention that recognizing and accepting the truth of suffering can make us easier to go through all the painful and undesired experience. So does it mean that the only goal of accepting the suffering is to pursue happiness? That's my first question. And the second one is that you mentioned that long-lasting happiness is built inside. It's not related to the change of the outside world. So what can we do to build the happiness inside? I mean, apart from accepting this truth, what else can we need to do? Thank you very much.
Mm-hmm. That's a very good question. Let me answer both of your questions together. In the Buddhist scriptures, it is said that we need to understand suffering. What is the cause of suffering? The main thing is to understand the truth of the cause, which refers to karma and afflictions. After knowing the cause of suffering, we rely on the path, which is guided by non-dual wisdom. By following this path with mindful attention, we gradually realize that the true nature of mind is empty of inherent existence. This is the true nature of reality. Once you understand it in this way, you can attain true happiness for yourself and gain a deeper understanding of all phenomena. This is what Buddhism refers to as the direct realization of the truth of cessation. You might not fully understand what the truth of cessation means, but in short, and to put it simply, it is stable, enduring, and truly the ultimate form of happiness. It truly can arise within one's own mental continuum. There are many such great people in our lives. After realizing the true nature of suffering, one's own mind is free from suffering and can also lead many sentient beings onto the path of liberation. This is a real situation. Therefore, mainly within the teaching of the Four Noble Truths, there are very good answers to the questions you raised.
Thank you, Master. My question is, do you agree with the saying that the only and ultimate way to get rid of suffering is to get rid of our natural body to be totally spiritual beings by means of meditation or other kind of methods? Thank you.
Speaking from my own experience after many years of study, I believe that in order to completely eliminate the root of suffering, the wisdom of non-self is truly extremely important. In daily life, there are many different ways to overcome suffering. Some people, when they are heartbroken at times, many turn to drinking alcohol, and many also use drugs as well. Some people go to entertainment venues, such as clubs or dance halls, for example. While others, in an attempt to escape their pain, try to find relief by going somewhere else, seeking distraction or comfort in different places. They turn off their phones and go to quieter places, allowing themselves to calm down over a few days. There are also many people who simply just practice a bit of calm abiding meditation like this. For example, in my case, after nearly 30 years of studying Buddhism, I have also acquired and developed some understanding of both Eastern and Western knowledge in the world in various fields and disciplines. But if we truly want to eliminate human suffering at its root, wisdom is extremely important. If there are other ways, that's also absolutely good, and in fact, perfectly fine. I'm not saying this is the only way, but I believe it is the most important.
Thank you, Your Holiness. It's truly an enlightening experience. My question being, the cause and effect and karma, as I come to understand, are the law of nature. So in other words, the sufferings that we gone through in life, is also your understanding that it stems primarily from a karmic nature, meaning that the extent of suffering is really a function of past karma. Okay, if so, then it's just basic premise of life that we need to accept, and there's no need to escape. Yeah. That's all. Thank you.
There are many explanations in Buddhism. For example, according to the Shravakayana, the hero vehicle, if one commits extremely grave and very serious negative karma, it cannot usually be transformed. But in the Mahayana Sutras, it is said that even if one has committed extremely grave negative karma, in fact, if one sincerely applies the antidote, the negative karma can actually be purified. One will not experience such retribution. For example, if someone breaks the law in various countries, some people cannot escape the punishment of the law, but some people, relying on various methods, even if they have committed serious offenses, even if one commits a serious crime, they might not be sentenced, and even if they are sentenced, the sentence can still be reduced. Such situations also exist in the world. Similarly, the law of karma and its results is not specifically created to punish people, but simply according to the natural law of all phenomena. Some negative karma can be purified through repentance, while some cannot be lessened. This is the distinction between fixed karma and unfixed karma. The Buddhist scriptures describe many different classifications of karma.
Venerable Master, my question for you today is as follows. In Chinese Buddhism, the Tiantai school is known for a very important concept, which is that the nature of all beings inherently contains both good and evil. That is, the Buddha nature inherently possesses both good and evil qualities. I would like to know how you view and interpret this concept, Master. Goodness and evil. If Master also agrees with this concept, then how can we apply this concept in our daily practice? Thank you, Master.
In the Han Chinese region, the Tiantai school primarily bases its practice on the Avatamsaka Sutra and the Lotus Sutra. This is the well-known Tiantai school in Chinese Buddhism. As she just mentioned earlier, the good or bad karma in our minds, if we say it has inherent nature, then that should not in fact be the ultimate view of this school, because the supreme and ultimate teaching is that the essential and fundamental Tathagata Garbha is truly free from the extremes of both good and bad karma. The Dharma realm is free from all extremes. But the good and bad karma we usually talk about within our minds, good and bad karma are mixed together, and so are suffering and happiness. From the perspective of appearances, this is the case. But from the perspective of ultimate reality, regardless of the fact of whether it's the Tiantai school or any other school, if one has not realized the true nature of the Tathagata Garbha and believes that good and bad karma truly exist in reality, I think this is not the view of this school. If one claims they truly exist, it would contradict both scriptural authority and logical reasoning. Therefore, its ultimate view is that the luminous Tathagata Garbha, free from all speculative views, is inherently present in the continuum of sentient beings. However, from the perspective of appearances, everyone has a mind capable of generating both virtuous and non-virtuous actions. This is how its view should be understood.
This time I'd like to, I think we should all show our gratitude with a round of applause for our translators today, Vanessa. Shanghai in the back, and Oliver is in there as well. I think we all gained a little bit of wisdom today. In fact, we gained quite a bit of wisdom today that we can use to better our lives in the future. So let's again rise and show our gratitude to our teacher, Khenpo Sodargye. Thank you.